Good practice today. Obviously, it's a unique week with playing on a Tuesday, so you have to adjust your schedule a little bit. So today was abbreviated Tuesday, and thought the guys handled that really well. Thought the attention to detail, the focus was there, and they know we have a lot to play for. The team that that's coming in here on Tuesday is probably the best team maybe that we've played all year. Really talented, really well coached. I think their resume speaks for themselves on who they played and who they've beaten, and going on the road and in conference and winning games, and beating P4 programs. I think just their personnel really stands out to me, and I felt like last year when we played them offensively, they were kind of finding their identity. I felt like they've definitely found that, and they're very efficient. I think the quarterback's playing at a high level. I think their offensive line is big and is a real weapon. I think their tight ends are dangerous, both in the pass game and the run game. Their receivers are very solid. Running backs they're special, and they're doing a good job of running the ball and play action and just being really efficient. And that's tough on a defense when you're that balanced and you're that efficient. So a huge challenge for us on defense and offensively. We got to get back on track. We got to execute better, and I know our guys are working really hard to do that. And them on defense, they're 4 down. They will get in a little bit of 3 down, but I think in the off season, probably last year they were more of the 3 safety stuff and almost a bend don't break type deal, and I don't think that was the identity that their head coach wanted, and so they're coming at you 4 down, stop the run, play man on the back end, and they're not afraid to lock you up and be physical, and I think their safety number 4 is a special player and one of the best in the country. Their nickel's really solid. Their front 7, their front 4, and their linebackers are big and physical and really get after you. They had a guy that was the National Player of the Week on defense this year, and had 4 sacks for Southern Miss, and so they're talented, they're well coached, they're big, have a lot of momentum right now with their record, and so it's going to be quite the challenge. I am glad that we have them at home. I think that obviously helps the Bobcats, and we play well at home, and it's hard to win on the road in this conference. So. We're excited about the opportunity. We need the fans and students and everyone to be there on Tuesday and make sure we're in full support and making this place a hostile environment, just like it has been every week that we played home. So questions.
Looking at the game film from the ODU game, just what were some of the things that just went wrong with the offense, and how do y'all correct those when y'all play against Louisiana?
Yeah, I think some of those things that we'll continue to work this week, and I think we just have to make some plays. I think players and coaches, including myself and Coach Leftwich and the rest of the offensive staff, we have to do a better job, and then the players have to go out there and execute and make the plays. When the plays are there, you got to go make them, and that was probably the first time all year that maybe that hasn't happened as much as we're accustomed to in our standards. So. I think it's a group effort, and I think a lot of offensively, especially for us, is we talk about execution fuels emotion, and we just weren't able to execute enough times to go out there and score touchdowns. And when you're in the red zone, you got to be able to score touchdowns. And when you do kick the field goals, you got to be able to execute that as well. So. I don't think it's, you can point, hey, it's the offensive line or quarterback, receivers, running backs, coaches. I think it's, obviously a team effort on offense, and we just have to play and coach better as a group.
Coming back from ODU, like going inside, just what's the players' kind of attitude after when they take a loss like that, and how they kind of respond?
Yeah, I think obviously you're really disappointed, and it's one of those when you're on the road, you got to go play great. You got to go outplay the other team, and we didn't get the job done, and so I think they're disappointed and disappointed in themselves, and obviously I think the confidence is still there, and the belief is still there, but you got to go out there and prove it every week. And I think you beat two really good teams in the division and in the conference, and you let one slip away on the other side. So you got a lot to play for this week, and I think that's probably where the mindset has shifted to from being disappointed, from being upset to, hey, you got a really big ball game, probably the biggest of the year at home. So that's kind of where the mindset is now.
With this game, it feels like a lot is riding on this game. If you beat Louisiana, you're in the driver's seat of the Sun Belt West Division. But if you don't, you're kind of taken aback. Just how important is this game, especially with all the hype going into the season? Yeah,
I think it's super important. But I think we figured out, all year that every game is super important, and when you look up, at the end of the year, you got to be proud of the way you played and the way you prepared and what you put on film. So I think every game from here on out is really big, and obviously this is a conference game in the West. So I think it's just adds to that level of at the end of the year what it looks like for you as a team. So it's a big game, and we're definitely excited about it. I know they're going to be fired up, ready to go, and it was a heck of a game last year at their place, and one we felt like maybe slipped away from us, but you got to give those guys a lot of credit. They're a really good team with really good coaches.
Coach, how's it feel to be playing a Tuesday game?
Yeah, that's a little unique. Obviously, adjust your schedule a little bit. You get extra time, for your body and to make sure your game plan is what you need it to be, and because these guys do throw a lot at you. Especially on offense that you got to prepare for. So I think that'll help us in the big picture. But it's always unique, and on Saturdays, you play the game and you're in your routine and all that. So you got to make sure that you keep that. Like a Friday is going to be a Tuesday, a Saturday is going to be a Wednesday, and then so go. You got to be able to make sure you're handling your business and staying on track as far as that goes. So it's definitely unique, but we have played Thursday games, here, and those are always challenging. So Tuesday is probably my first Tuesday. I played on Wednesday, I played on Thursday, played on Friday, played on Saturday. I think this is my first Tuesday.
Big topic of conversation is about team identity. You probably don't know that the first couple of weeks of the season, but now you're 7 games in. So what would you say the identity of this team is right now?
Yeah, I think offensively, when we're executing at a high level, we're really tough to beat. I think we got really good coaches that put the guys in really good situations, and we got really good players that go out there and perform on Saturdays or on Tuesdays. And when we're clicking, we're really, really good. So I think on defense, we've proven to be a lot cleaner maybe than previous years, and we're just as dangerous. We stopped the run really well. Obviously, some things that we need to work on. I think in the back end, we're playing clean football. I think our discipline and all that kind of stuff, the penalties have really, you look at the past couple of weeks, we haven't beaten ourselves, which is really good to see. So I think we're trending in the right direction. It might not feel like that because you're coming off a big loss like that on the road, but I think you're seeing some progress being made. And sometimes, you go out there and you lose a game, you fail, and that's part of life, and that's part of football. So you got to be able to respond and bounce back, and I think that's been good to see from our group, is the resiliency and the determination and the focus, and cause we got a lot of seniors on this team and all the guys that this year means a lot to. So I'm excited about kind of where we're at, and it should be a good one on Tuesday.
There's been a bit of a theme this season, playing teams that have had your number and you've passed those tests so far. Never beat UTSA before, you beat them 49-10. Hadn't beaten Troy since the mid-90s, you win 38-17. You're playing a Louisiana team this program is yet to beat. Are these conversations you have with your team going into these games? How do you treat the history?
I think it's one of those things that maybe gets mentioned sometimes, but, these guys are on social media. These guys, they see it. So they know. But yeah, I think for us, it's really just about the next opponent. But I think it's also in this day and age in college football, and with everything going on and social media and the way guys are wired, they know when you're a 10-point favorite, and they know when you're not a 10-point favorite. They understand that. So it's our jobs as coaches and their jobs as players to be able to lock in and focus on each and every week and go out there and play ball. So I think it is what it is. As far as that goes, I just know we have a really good opponent coming in here that's really well coached that you know is dangerous. They're a dangerous team, and they played, you know, they're like the big bully. I'm telling you, those guys are that they play like it. You can feel their confidence on film. I mean, there's a special group that we're playing that's coming in here that they play really well together. You know, I think that's one thing you look at it in this day and age too, with the portal and transfers and all that kind of stuff. Like, they have a bunch of guys that have been there and have played ball together for a long time. They've been in off-season trainings together. They've been through the good and the bad, and you know, I think there's something to be said for that too. And you know, they're a really good team with a really good resume that's playing really well at the right time. So it's gonna be quite the challenge, and that's why I'm saying, you know, we're gonna need, you know, our fans there. We're gonna need to go play a really clean game and play our game and go execute on and really in all three phases. Obviously, you saw that last year. We haven't talked about special teams, but they're good on special teams, and you know, obviously, we got to be able to execute and match their you know, preparation this week.
Do you look forward, Coach? You like playing the bullies and to try to take them down?
Yeah. I think you always want to. You know, I think, you know, very very similar to, you know, people in this area. You know, obviously you played Louisiana before, a long time before I have, but you know, obviously following, you know, UTSA and Trailers and those guys, like kind of the way they're built is very similar to Louisiana. You know, they're going to run the football, they're going to play action you. They got weapons on the outside. They have a quarterback that's very efficient. So same type deal. And very similar to when we're rolling and that feel like when you can't stop us and you can't stop the run, you can't stop the pass. You kind of feel helpless on defense. That's kind of when they're rolling on offense. That's kind of, you know, what you feel from those guys. So they're a tough group, man. They really are. So, but yeah, to answer your question, that's why you play the game, is to go out there and try to knock off the big dogs, and you know, that's for sure what they are right now.
Coach Kinne, Brand had asked earlier about playing the Tuesday game. So what is the adjustment on the schedule like for you guys? Because not only that game, but then after on November 9th, you have Louisiana Monroe.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like that game's right in the middle of everything. So
Yeah.
how do you kind of adjust your team to schedule?
Yeah,
It's very unusual.
Yeah, it's definitely unique in the way you go about it. I think when you're looking at the positives, you look at the extra time to prepare and the extra time for your body. Like, so today was basically like a bonus Tuesday, right? And then tomorrow will be like a bonus Wednesday. And then whatever the next day is will be like a bonus Thursday, and then on Friday we'll kind of get into our normal game week. And so we're trying to take care of their bodies, but also get some really quality work in mentally and physically to get the guys ready. And so I thought the lock-in and focus was really, really good today, and then we'll worry about after the game. You know, we'll obviously do it changes, you know, your recruiting, so you play on Tuesday, so your coaches are able to get on the road on Friday and kind of do that whole deal. So that's always helpful too, because you know, there's a bunch of high school kids that we need to go see the next couple of weeks. Yes.
Colton, do you have one more?
Yeah, just how's everyone's health going into Tuesday, and just the status in Bidville?
Yeah, I think same thing, knock on wood, we're pretty healthy for the most part. Obviously, this time of year, you always have your ankles and your shoulders and that kind of stuff. And we had a couple guys go down towards the end of the game, but they're out there practice today, ready to go. And you know, that's one thing that I think, you know, we've done a really good job of this year, is taking care of their bodies. And obviously, the way we train with Coach Youth, you know, I think really helps that. You know, just guys are strong this type of year. We're still lifting pretty heavy and multiple times a week, and I think that helps your guys, you know, down the stretch. And then same thing with Ben, who's out there today. We'll kind of see what that looks like, you know, moving forward. Hopefully we'll have, you know, I know you keep asking, but, you know, some kind of answer, you know, as it goes, but not there yet.
Thanks.
Yep.